What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwana, and I am back with episode 6 of Soul Food Claiming. Before I start, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video. Make sure y'all like the video so I can stand the algorithm. Y'all know I am on the road to 1K. So yeah, in my Sandra P's voice, let's get me up to the thou wow. Okay, and while y'all at it, getting me up in the thou wow, y'all go around there and subscribe to her channel, okay, and get her up in the thou wow. Okay? Shoot. Even Mrs. Best, y'all go around there and subscribe to my girl channel, okay? Thuggy. Go be a thuggy. Okay, and while you at it, since we subscribing to people channels, go around there to watch your mouth reviews. Okay, we're trying to get my friend up to the thou wow. Okay, right now, my friend just needs y'all to get him up to 400, but we gonna get him up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 900. You heard me? In my New Orleans voice. Okay, my friends do such a great job amongst all of the other YouTube content creators. Y'all, everybody do such an amazing job that, we just need y'all to, share, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay, because we dope around here. Okay? Thank y'all so much. All right. I will put everybody's name down in the description box. So y'all get in my description box and subscribe to all of the channels if you had not. Okay? Join our community. Okay? Because the subscribers be real dope. Okay, because if you find them in one, they're going to be in the other channels. Okay, we is a community. Y'all know this together around here. We are a community around here. Girl, use your degrees. Sure. I'm just saying. Okay. Anyway, Soul Food, where they just seem to piss me off every time. Every time somebody on here pisses me the hell off. So let's find out who's gonna piss me off in episode 6. So y'all, everybody over at Max's house, for breakfast. And Bird gives Terry the money that, they owe her for, I want to say, for repairs or whatever that she had been helping with. And, everybody thinks that Lim work on the dock with his lying ass. Okay? He's a scamming ass nigga doing some scamming ass shit with his scamming ass cousins. Because they scamming ass, raggedy ass people. Okay? Y'all know when I ain't got no other adjectives to add. I couldn't think of no other adjectives. Okay? So, anyway, y'all. Jenna, y'all remember Jenna was the woman who was chaperoning on the bus with Max for Ahmad's field trip. Y'all know it's 2 black boys at Ahmad's school, and that was the one Ahmad had to fight with when he said Max had the droopy titties. I'm sorry, I know, funny though. Y'all know Max had the little buttermilk drop titties, okay? She did when she was breastfeeding the baby, but don't say that. Okay. Anyway, she has gotten cool with Jenna. That's the mom. And, Terry is looking at Jenna like, I know you from somewhere. That's what she kept telling Jenna. But she couldn't place where she knew Jenna. So Jenna seemed like she was okay, and Kenny noticed that she got really emotional. And so everybody was like, you're good? And she was like, yeah, I'm okay. And so she sits down, she's seeing everybody eat. She gets really emotional. And so Max have her to sit down so she can eat and enjoy with everybody. So as, eating going on, y'all know they have to have their shop talk, their big mama talk. If you step on the crack, you break your mama back kind of talk. Okay? And then Terry leaves. But then she looks at Jenna again. She says, I really think I know you from somewhere. And then she leaves. So everybody else goes to their destination to their jobs or whatnot. Lim goes to bring a package over to scamming ass Vicky Wu, and when he gets to her little FEMA trailer, he sees that she's being caught up by the police. Please, y'all, don't be offended by the word FEMA trailer. I'm from New Orleans. Just a little tidbit. I left from New Orleans during Katrina. Okay, I didn't stay while Katrina was going on. I left a day or two before it hit. All right. Anyway, so he see police surrounding a trailer or whatever, and the police have the dude hemmed up and got scamming ass Vicky Wu hemmed up. And so he have the bags in his hand. They can't see Lim because he's far away, but he can see everything from where he's standing. And then he kind of, leave. He turn around and leave, and he leave the bag by the, his bags by the dumpster. Sir, I just want you to know that this is the second bullet you have dodged not getting caught up by the police. Like, you really need to quit playing with your cousins. You really need to quit playing with your cousins. They both almost got you caught up. Anyway, so of course now Lim doesn't have a job because they both in jail. Anyway, he goes to Kenny and he asks Kenny to, do you need any help with filing? Of course Kenny do. Because Kenny don't know how to file shit. Okay? He have the business, but he don't know the admin part of the business. And this is where Lila is going to come in. I want to say Lila is probably going to come in at season 2. One sometime, maybe some sort in season 1, maybe going into season 2. But Lila is going to come in. Lila is going to be his administrative assistant. Okay? But not yet. So, anyway, we get over to Damon and Terry. Damon wants to introduce Terry to her family because Damon actually wants to meet Terry's family. But they don't know nothing about Damon besides the stuff that Miles has shared with them when Miles saw Terry and Damon outside kissing with his messy ass. But we don't see Miles. We ain't gonna see Miles for a little while. I think we rarely gonna see Miles. So we actually found out that Damon has told his mom, his stepmom, and his dad all about Terry. Why? Because Terry is an attorney. His dad is a judge. And of course, they want Damon to be an attorney. So he has gushed and gloated about Terry. And they are really ready to meet her. And I was like, oh, child. So Terry gets over to Max's house and she finally discloses her information about Damon. And it just seemed like, as she's explaining Damon, it seemed like she has some shame about it. Damon is only 5 years younger than her. And I'm thinking, I was like, when it came on, she kept saying he's younger. And I was thinking, how young is Damon? And when they had the conversation, I thought Damon was like 10 years younger. But Damon is only 5 years younger. It's not a big deal. But Terry seemed ashamed, not only by his age, but also by his job. And because he's a delivery guy. But he's also trying to position himself to be like a sports, what do they call that when they, agent, a sports agent. I forgot about that. And he's new. He's just starting that. So it's like she just have shame around it. Terry won't allow herself to be happy. Terry didn't allow herself to be happy with Miles. All Terry wanted to do was work. And I think that goes back to how how she was, what she seen in the household between Big Mama and their dad Jeremiah. How she seen how her mom was being mistreated by her dad, but her mom just like decided she wanted to just kind of muscle through and keep a smile on her face just for the sake of being happy. I don't mean just for the sake of having a husband. And it was taboo to leave your husband, especially for a person like Big Mama. Like you just couldn't leave your husband. And so Terry just kind of been a stick in the mud. I mean, I don't mean to say it like that, but Terry just kind of been a stick in the mud. And so it just kind of carried on into her adult life. And so she don't allow herself to be fully happy. And if I can be honest, a lot of us have been some sort of a Terry. Like, hold on, y'all. I have completely been guilty of being a Terry. Like, I am just now getting to a place where I am so less rigid. And it's been maybe about 3-4 years. Like, I'm not as rigid as I used to be. I have completely just woosah. And it feels really, really good. I don't know why I'm telling y'all this, but I'm just telling y'all, okay? Anyway, so over at Chadway Towing, okay, Lim and Kenny, they're working, trying to get these files. And they have more paper than desk. They have more paper than sofa. Baby, they have more paper than anything else. And so Kenny found some dominoes in the midst of all of that paperwork. When I tell y'all, I'm so glad we are paperless and we do everything on a damn computer. Thank God. Okay? So they start playing dominoes. And then they get a towing call. And so Kenny gets ready to go, but then he has Lim to tag along. So as they're getting to the guy, he has another towing company scooping up his car. And, Kenny was like, but you called Chadwick Towing. And he was like, well, they came. And so Kenny was like, well, did they show you, what they have, their credentials and all of that? And he was like, no. And he was like, well, they're not as legit as I am. So it was just a whole thing. And those people just seem to be so damn ignorant. Like, they just bought a tow truck, put some stickers on the shit, and was just like, we just gonna tow y'all, call to the nearest pound or wherever it shall go. It just felt like they had no purpose behind their towing company. Where you see Chadwick, and he had purpose behind his towing company. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Max invited Jenna and her family over for dinner. She tells Kenny, and Kenny was like, I don't really like that because, they have a way of looking down on people. And so Max was like, listen, Jenna's not like that. And Jenna wasn't like that. It was her raggedy, white around the lip mouth ass husband. Okay, with his ugly ass. And we gonna get to him. Anyway. Because he pissed me off. Okay, y'all, I told y'all. It's always somebody in here that's going to piss me off. All right? Oh, yeah, I wanted to say this about the other towing company. So the dude who was with the head towing man in charge, he was about to get into it with Lim. Okay? Lim was reckless and the dude was reckless. They both was reckless. So yeah. Anyway, Terry and Damon goes to meet the parentals. All right. And she was like, just talking about how she was 5 years older than Damon, having a conversation with Damon, and I'm like, girl, you are not that old, but whatever, Terry, girl, whatever. And so Damon's father, as they're sitting there eating and talking, this was so uncomfortable for Terry, and I do feel like their conversations to Damon was very uncomfortable. They treated him as if he was a child, and this is a grown-ass man, and you cannot bully him into submission. You cannot bully anybody into doing something you want them to do. You have to allow a grown person to live their life. His life doesn't look like yours. You want him to be an attorney, and then when he's unhappy, then what? What are you going to tell him? Just pick yourself up by the bootstrap. You're making a lot of money. That's besides the point. People want to work at a place where they're doing what they like. It's probably mainly 75%, maybe 80% of the world that are doing things that we don't like to do. And it's probably because we don't have it to do, or some people are too scared, or it's a number of reasons. But you have people who are so gung-ho on pushing their adult children, pushing them into avenues that you want them to be on, instead of allowing them to make their own path in life, because you think that you know what's best for them, and you think that you as the adult know that you think that you as the adult feel like your path for your child is better, when in reality, as a fully grown adult, hell, you don't even know your own path in life. I'm just saying we change our minds as adults so much. What we do in our 20s and 30s don't even look like what we do in our 40s. When I tell y'all, just real quick, I am learning now that I am 43. And I think right now I am really reinventing myself in my 40s. I realize that I am now reinventing myself. And it don't look pretty to everybody, and guess what? I don't care. It used to be the other way around, where I thought in my 20s and 30s it somehow had to look a certain way for other people, but now I have control, finally have control over my own life, over my destiny, over all of those things, and I thank God for that. Anyway, y'all, let me just, because y'all know me, y'all know I get real ADHD-ish and real, and we'll steer off. Okay? Back to the subject. Anyway, Jenna back at Mac's house. Okay? Because Damon's daddy and his stepmammy pissed me off too. Okay? Because Damon is a grown-ass man. So Jenna and her ugly ass stuck up ass husband head over to Max and Kenny's house for dinner. And the way the husband was looking at Jenna, like, he looked at her with such disgust, and I didn't like that. And I'm looking at him like, nigga, like, why are you looking? It was just the way he looked at her, like he was just so disgusted by her. And Jenna is such a beautiful woman, and I was like, what you doing with his ugly ass? But whatever, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I'm just saying. So Kenny was like, would you like anything to drink? He was like, I just want this certain type of scotch. And Kenny was like, well, I'm sorry, we don't have that. So he pulled out the scotch. He bought his own scotch because that's what he wanted. So Kenny held that bottle like this, like he wanted to hit him. It's like, really? Like he wanted to bust him in his head with that bottle of scotch, and I wouldn't have been mad. But I see where the son gets this level of arrogance from. He get it from his father. His father is extremely arrogant, and the father is a broker or something. So he was like, oh, he asked Kenny, what does he do? He said, I own Chadwick Towing Company. And he turns to his wife and say, oh, Jenna, have we heard of Chadwick Towing Company? Boy, fuck you. Okay? Because I got offended. Listen, I'm the only one that can talk about stupid Kenny. Okay? Don't come for Kenny. Okay? Okay? And so Kenny took it on the chin. And so he was like, oh, well, Kenny took it on the chin, and he was like, okay, what do you do? He was like, well, I'm a broker. Bitch, we don't know what you do. We don't like you. We don't like you, sir. We don't like you, and we don't like your son. We only like Miss Jenna. Anyway, let me calm down because he pissed me off. So, over at the parentals, back at Damon and his raggedy ass parents' house, okay? They are still nagging him to get into law school, and I was just like, oh my God, could y'all please respect this man's decision? The stepmother decided she wanted to insult Terry because she was married twice. And I was like, that's pretty fucked up. Because how did you get you're the stepmom, so did you finagle your way with Damon's dad while he was married? Like, what's the backstory behind that? Like, you cannot just, you have really nothing on Terry, so you want to use that to try to downplay her? Because you just a housewife? Like, and there's no shade to housewives. I just did not like how she tried to downplay Terry. Like, at least the lady was married. It didn't work. She was young. I want to say the first time she was married. Then I think she turned around and married Miles. Like, it just didn't work. Did you ever sit down and ask her what happened? No, ho. You just judged her. I ain't like that. So she pissed me off too. So we get back to the Chadwicks. And the mod and that raggedy ass little kid they got upstairs fighting. So Ahmad had to put them paws on them. Okay? And so the dads had to go break them up. Alright? So the next day, Kenny makes it to work, and then Lim, heads over to the job, and the two dudes that Lim had got into it with the other towing company, they destroyed Kenny's truck, and they went in his office and completely trashed his office. Lim went looking for them. Anyway, the police was there taking information. Kenny knew who did it. He told Lim, and that's all Lim needed. So back over at Max is sitting there having a conversation with Jenna. This is where I can get with Max. Max is finally coming into her own. She is realizing that I need something outside of all of this. So she tells Jenna that the things that her mom did being a housewife eventually became her life. And she was like, I'm wondering if this is just it for me, just like Big Mama. And she was like, when she wonders those things, the feeling then pass. This is where Max realized she needs something outside of being a wife and a mom. And I love that for Max. I absolutely love that for Max. All right. So anyway, Terry realized that she comes over to Max's house, and her, she walks in the door, and Terry realized that her and Jenna are sorority sisters. They actually went to the same school, and they did a bid. They was at a charity auction, and they bid on the same item. So they have a mutual friend that Terry's going to be meeting for lunch in midweek. And so she asked Jenna if she can come. Now you're completely coming in and you're just maneuvering. I feel like Terry didn't have regard for Maxine in that moment. And I know it seemed childish, but Max is always home, so Max don't have a lot of friends. She just have her family. And so Terry just kind of came in and it felt like you just kind of bombarded without even trying. And so she made the face and she just looked, and Jenna was like, okay, just give me your number. And so Terry was like, okay, Max has all my numbers. And Max was like, okay, like real sarcastic. But she got up, took her clothes, and went into, the laundry room. And so Terry walks behind her, and Terry was like, what's your problem? Why are you acting like that? You really need to get a life. And Max was like, listen, if I can get a life outside of here, I would. And I just felt like that was pretty insulting for Terry to say that to Max, because she doesn't really have anything outside of that. And you really did bombard and impede it felt like you impeded on her friendship with Jenna. Like, girl. It just would have been like, after she told me, hey, about the mutual friend, I would have been like, hey, well, I'm gonna give her your number. Give me your number, and then I'll have her to call you. That's it. I wouldn't have done nothing else, because visibly looking at my sister's face, if I'm paying attention to my sister, her feelings are hurt in that moment, and you didn't care about that lady's feelings. So anyway, Lim pull up on the old boys, all right, and then they started to tussle. So Lim took they blicky from them and pulled it on them, and then took their money out of their pocket and gave it to Kenny. And so they head back to the office. Kenny tells them, listen, I don't need all that gangster shit. He say shit, I'm just saying, I don't need you to bring all that gangster shit around here to my office. I know how to conduct myself. Let me take care of my own business. I got it right here. Okay? I don't need you fighting my battles. I got this. So Lim was like, cool. And I wasn't mad at Kenny, because at the end of the day, it's my name on this business. And I don't need no outside extra drama. Anyway, Maxine gets a flashback of Big Mama basically telling her, you need to find something of your own, and you don't always need to have people around to feel some type of way, to feel something, or to be something. And I think Max really took that into strides, because she went over to Jenna's house the next day to apologize for her behavior. And Jenna was like, listen, I was just being nice to Terry. And so Max said, so my sister not good enough for you, Terry? Shut up. Okay? Shut up. But I think I think Max was just playing. So she was like, it's not that. She was like, you are my real friend. And she reassures Max that, listen, your sister Terry is cool, but me and you have more in common than me and Max does. That was our past. This is those things that happened in the past. Now, we both are wives. We both are mothers. Our kids go to the same school. We probably have similar situations we deal with in our marriages. And we both are, maybe, I don't know if Jenna is a stay-at-home wife like Maxine is, but they both have the same background with their moms. They both lost their moms. So they do have way more in common than Jenna and Jenna and Terry. So yeah, it's good. I appreciated them. I appreciated them in that conversation. Okay. So Kenny talks to Lem. Well, Kenny talks to Lem about offering him a part-time job. And Lem's stupid ass turned it down. But he did say this. He said he will find something, and he also tells Kenny that he doesn't want to bring any trouble to Kenny's company. And so Kenny was like, bet. But he was like, I can only pay you part-time. So he couldn't offer him more because he doesn't have contracts. Like, he's not getting the contracts. We'll see later on as the season progresses where he'll get city contracts. And that's when he'll get all of these employees for Chadwick Towing. Anyway, Max and Kenny talk at night. They're in the bed. They're having a conversation. And so Max, tell him that she used to paint when she was a kid. So she was thinking about joining a painting class. And he was like, listen, I'm down for whatever you want to try. So Kenny was like, we can just get up in the morning and we can figure out where you want to go, what you want to do. But then he realized, you know what? How about I let you figure that out? And not just the support that Kenny gave her in that moment. I was so here for it. I was so here. He didn't say, you need to be doing this and why you won't do that. I was so here for Kenny. See, Kenny ain't that stupid. Okay? I was not pissed off by Kenny. And then he goes to sleep. And I knew what he meant when he said this. But my 2026 city girl mentality kicks in. He tells her, don't go changing. You are perfect just the way you are. Back then, I know what he meant. But the today me, I was like, and it all pissed me off. But I do want to say this. I always got something to say. That's why these videos be damn long. As humans, we are always ever changing, y'all. We are always evolving, and we will not be the same person you see. So who we are in our young 20s will not be the same. Hell, who we was in January 1, 2026, I can assure you, today, July 22nd, we are totally different from January 1, unless you have made a conscious decision to stay the same person. But if you are one that wants to evolve and want to change and grow, with growth, you change. This is what happens. This is what happens. Okay, we all change, but I get what Kenny was coming from when he said that. All right. Anyway, that is all I got, y'all. This was a good episode. Again, if y'all ever want to watch these episodes, they are actually on YouTube for free. And also because I don't think they have all the episodes. I would say that it's not all. It's a lot of them, but it's not all of them. I stream it on Brick TV, and I pay $5.99 a month for Brick TV, and it's a lot of black shows. Very nostalgic. Brick TV, y'all. Follow. They are on Instagram, y'all. I'm not getting paid for none of this, but I'm just saying it's the app. But I just wanted to put that out there just in case y'all actually wanted to watch the show. That's how I watch it, and that's how I found Brick TV. Is on Instagram. Anyway, after you see this posted, right after this, you'll see All the Queen's Men. It'll be up right after this. So after y'all watch this, y'all give me a click and a view for this, and go right over to watch All the Queen's Men and tell me what y'all think, because I think All the Queen's Men was the mid-season finale. I mean, it was the mid-season finale until I don't know when we gonna get the next half. But yes, that is all I got for soul food. This is your girl Kiwan, reminding you to keep growing, keep showing up, stay true to yourself, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye.